What's up, guys? All right. Last one of the week. Let's go. Well, all right. Appreciate you guys here patiently waiting for us to get everything kicked off. All right. Following up PPI yesterday's session, we just had some retail sales. So we'll get some volatility. Some things are starting to move around right now. And first and foremost, appreciate you guys being on as always supporting, showing love. You're just working on the craft. So thank you all for joining. Before we kick off, make sure you're liking, subscribing the stream. Check out after this if you want to keep learning other videos, whether it's on the stream or on the channel or in the classroom, in the communities area. If you're not in our communities yet, then make sure you get in there. Go ahead and scan one of these if you want the free community. Our goal is to help you make your first 5K or your next 5K for free, just by plugging in, just by using all the resources. So go ahead, make sure you're taking advantage of that. There's really no reason, there's no excuse on why you can't progress. I'm not saying it's going to be instant. It does take time. It does take working on several things, compounded over time, but it is very well worth what you're doing here. And then if you want to accelerate this process dramatically, obviously on the right side, you can scan so that you can book a call and see if it's the right fit to join our syndicate. We're currently about 40 members that are in there, and we're working on some amazing things, right? I'd say that the learning curve is aggressively accelerated, keeping your funded accounts and withdrawing. That's really where the sweet spot's at. But with all of that being said, let's get to the good stuff. All right. Now, this for many has been a tragedy. The oil sells, man, came into the zone here, reversed. So we saw it kind of reject out of this order block first. And then we saw a 43 pip move to the downside, arguably mitigated here. Saw about 47 points up. Market comes back up and then decides to drop out of this zone here. And now fast forward. Yeah, market's been doing its thing. It is actively sitting at a 4.2 risk reward. So I was not able to take this, but hopefully some of you, this was shared throughout the chats, on the live stream yesterday for sure. I don't remember if I shared this on if we posted it or not. Let me double check. And maybe not. Yeah, right there. Here's oil. So shorts in play. If you took advantage, if you're using the resources, this is, again, available. So the road to 5K. And honestly, in the chat, in the stream, I would love to see kind of and this is maybe going to be counterintuitive, so I'll see how I want to go about doing this. But I kind of want us to track. What's up? Oh, the chat's going crazy in here. What up, guys? I kind of want to see, how's the progress while you're on the channel. 500 of 5K, 1,000 of 5K, $17 of 5K. So would love to see that without giving so much focus on the day-to-day. Because in order to make money, you just have to develop certain skills. So the tracking is how disciplined are you every day with your system, how quality is your execution. And if we can do those things, then everything else comes together. So, obviously both have value. So let's dive in. Morning, everyone. What's up, Edwin, Edgar, Amy, Carlos, Gabriel, Isaiah? ¿Cómo están todos, chicos? What up, Corey, Harshi, Daniel, DeAndre? What's Gucci? Maria Lisa, buenos días. Anyone looking at ES shorts for the session? So ES1 is a continuous chart. Probably better off looking at the current contract. Yeah, Isaiah has been going wild with his with ES. It's not a live stream if Mike hasn't sneezed hard one time. That's hilarious. Did I sneeze already? No way. I don't think so. Every action you take is a vote for the person you wish to become. Let's make the right decisions. Absolutely, Joe. Thanks for the reminder. What's up, Charles, Brandon, Sen, Dan? Has silver mitigated? Sorry for the quick message. Didn't want us to miss that one. Yeah, so based on what I was looking at, let's pull up silver here. Silver also was shared in the community. So I shared this in our group. So we saw it push down here. All right, so a nice move to the downside. 18.5. And then the move that we saw to the upside. Yeah, it looks to me like we have officially rejected. Saw the mitigation. The market swept the lows, comes back in. It's kind of chopping up and down. Right now, it looks like it's working its way down again. Could we see another reversal out of the zone? This is where if we were getting higher highs above here and then a pullback, I'd feel very confident. If we look at the way the market came up, saw the move to the downside, worked its way up, lost momentum, up again for longer, lost momentum, again, dropping. I'm not in love with the price action. And then we have gold as well. That is, I mean, they look similar. I could see it play out, but yeah, I don't love the second entry here or anything like that. I think you'd be kind of forcing it. We do take out Thursday's liquidity, Asian session lows, New York session lows. We play into the imbalance, which is why we're getting the mitigation right now. When we work our way up, I mean, even when we do dip back down, it is relatively quick. So I don't love this. I don't hate it. It's just a setup. I didn't get triggered in here. No, I just didn't have a limit set. So a lot happened while I wasn't on the charts, unfortunately. Excited to join the syndicate soon. Is that is this account Kai? Caius? All right, yeah. Hey, happy to have you in the syndicate. I know there's a lot of you that are loading. If you have some questions about it, obviously just shoot me a message. You did sneeze? Damn, I forgot. I didn't even realize that. Oh, okay. I didn't know. I just put two and two together. All right, so with that being said, let's see. We got some stuff going on here. Oil screwed me. Chart gap down straight into my take profit, only on my broker. And then my broker decided to charge me my profit in rollover. Wait, what does that mean exactly? Looking for New York session to sweep London highs, but before shorts. Okay. What up, Tio? What's up, Rodrigo? I got oil buys at 62.58. I can take a look at Euro. Trump speaking to Putin tonight, almost at market closing, might be considered something with position. Yeah, he traveling to Alaska, 140, and then they charged me 140. Oh, that's a scam. That's wild. Cool. So if you guys have charts and you want me to look at them, yeah, go ahead and just drop them in the stream chat here. I'll add that here. Drop your charts below. All right, happy Friday. Feliz viernes a todos. Let's lock this in. All right, cool. So we got that going on. If you're in this, awesome. I'd say move your stop to entry. If that's not the case, I know someone's asked about oil again. I know some of you were asking about oil buys because we saw the sweep to the downside. And my thought process was that we could reject over here. That's a possibility. especially because we had pretty good like levels. Now the market did come into this zone. I still think we can get a bounce out of here, but considering we have another entry right there, I'm not really here to force it. So maybe you get a good bounce, and then we get the entry over here, though. So this is the one that I'm more interested in. I will add, though, I won't be taking my profit up here, though. I will be taking this down a notch. So going towards like a 3R over here for oil. So we'll do a follow-up here. August 15, 2025. All right, oil. Update. All right, so we'll have these rolling, actively adding to it. Have some alerts here. So if it gets down to here, have our eyes on it, but more focus on the buy, on the extremes. Okay, I know what you want. You want indices. Okay, so Dow been chilling. Started pumping during Asian session. Continued to rally again and again. So very bullish. We saw it peak out around during London. So if you look at a continuous chart, we saw that during London session, we did in fact clear the highs. So Dow here during London put some work in, making the all-time highs. But it wasn't just a spike, you know, we just kind of created some stability within this zone. So the way back down here looks very steady, very stable. I don't really have shorts that I'm looking for with Dow. If we take a look at NASDAQ has been very, very choppy. Tons of consolidation. So, you know, taking a look at this, I think this is just adding more and more and more examples of liquidity to the market. So we got like a lot of just equal lows here. And within the next couple minutes, I do think we can see the market sweep some of these lows, take out, you know, the low from London, see the Asian session low, even yesterday's New York low. It was so sideways. I wouldn't be surprised. We also have the London high and Tokyo high as well. So very similar. Like I said, we've just been ranging. So there's liquidity on multiple sides of this. And I do think that we can see some captures. So either going below or above. What could that do? Could that set something else up? And then that positions S&P here as well. S&P just bullish. Similar to Dow. My thought process for any type of shorts, I think we want to see a capture of the clearance of liquidity, taking out either the previous session highs, maybe even from the next day. This one kind of makes sense, this NASDAQ sell-off, because we would be taking out just the last day's worth of liquidity and playing into Wednesday's New York Open. And NQ has been just kind of sideways for quite some time. So would be curious to see what that looks like with everything else. But the easiest trades that I see right now are with Dow Jones. The easiest ones, the textbook ones, no further confirmations. These are just ready. They're just ready. Is Dow. So YM here, US 30. We had a nice sweep of the low here right before the end of the session. Market clears the lows, starts to push to the upside. So if we were to get NASDAQ to also clear the lows and we have Dow in alignment kind of get here at the same time, yeah, I'm super open to buying in these areas. So let's see how the market opens, what kind of volatility we get, and see where that leads to here with Dow. And as you can see here for today, we have retail sales, but not only do we get New York open here in a minute or so, we're going to see another round of news. So that news can be another trigger, another excuse for volatility here for us across the board. So, I mean, we're 20 seconds out. 20 seconds out. So, like I mentioned, let's see what happens with volatility. Regarding S&P, yeah, same thing. I could kind of see this little push to the upside. I think a little bump up here, but with the session highs right above it, I wouldn't count on it. All right, so let's check it out. NQ kicking things off pretty bearish. Just like that, starting to bleed down. Dow Jones, light work, nothing crazy. Some more bearish momentum with NASDAQ. Clearing liquidity here seems likely. NQ here actually starting things off interesting because we were moving sideways right after New York open. So we see a lot of sideways movement. The market pumps and then is actively dumping right now. So we're seeing NQ lead a bearish move to the downside. I would be open to shorting this, actually. Would want to see a bit more demand on there. But, yeah, sells here look possible. All right, so that's NQ clearing out liquidity. Where is that taking Dow? Okay, Dow starting to work its way down as well. All right. See if we get below this London session low. All right. Okay, we're working our way into this. Now we're starting to feel some imbalance. Meanwhile, NASDAQ getting further down. So I would not be looking to buy NQ. It's way more bearish, moving down more aggressively at a faster pace. So looking to buy Dow, in my opinion, makes the most sense. Yes, we have some more imbalance over here. A little dip down. This isn't a great buy entry for me, though. I'm just patient for all the way down here. And the longer we stay trading here, it would give me a better probability to look for the sell over here with NASDAQ. So let's see if we get if we can just trade down here for another 10-15 minutes minimum. From there, then I would have way more confirmation for a short. Right now, we saw the clearance of the low. There is a chance, depending on what this looks like, if this becomes a shakeout setup, maybe we'll see. NQ, wow, NQ playing out of this imbalance now very successfully. Look at that. These prices got eaten up. NASDAQ's like, no. Like, thank you for coming down here, and we will gladly take these prices for buys. Where is that taking S&P right now? ES clearing London lows, hasn't taken out Asian lows yet. Let's see I think we can see those lows too. So right now, I'm not flying towards anything yet. No decisions here. Just letting the market proceed. Dow's starting to look very bearish as well. And Dow's price action looks interesting because it did very similar movement as NASDAQ. We had a lot of sideways movement prior to New York Open. So market's moving sideways. Get that here. All right. Big, massive pump first. So right there. A couple minutes beforehand. And then it just melts through. Looks like the market might be setting up for shorts later on in the day. Or just maybe not even later on, but just like, not, it doesn't have to be hours from now, but in the future here. Yeah, look at this. Dow now clearly making the pullbacks. NASDAQ successfully holding on here. We saw, so NQ pumped up, dropped, pumped up again, dropping. I'm not leaning towards any buys or anything. Just kind of making sure we have clarity here. And ES looking to push below here as well. I don't have an alert here. All right, yeah, so let me place an alert once you start getting close to Dow, buy zones. Okay. All right, so while we have that continuing, we can take a look at a couple other things. And again, the yen strikes. So let me walk you guys through what we got going on here. The yen, man. The yen is just like, it's just doing its thing over and over and over again. The short on here was fantastic. Look at this thing. The short was great. It worked its way down to here towards New York session, played out of this zone. Now, the question was, would you have bought in this area? Would you have taken a position on the yen for buys? So I'd say it was a little riskier here to take this position because of the way it works its way down. You have other majors that are also working their way down. The yen was definitely not as bearish. Swiss franc had a nice push down here. So great mitigation from yesterday's zones. The market rallied. Now the question becomes, so what do we do now? Are there any setups to take at the moment? Is there any anything interesting going on over here? And let me go ahead and remove this for now. So let's work our way through here and think back at how the market was moving alongside this zone yesterday. So we look at New York session from yesterday. Thursday's moving pretty sideways. And then around Asian session, we, at least with Australian, we see a nice dip down before the market continues, which is a move like this. So nice push to the downside. Then the market goes up. Okay, not bad. That was during Asian session. So what about something like the pound? Could the pound give us a setup? And remember, this is what I was talking about yesterday, the market getting into imbalance and then providing some sort of, whether it's like a shakeout setup or anything like that. The market comes down and up. It ends up playing out of here and rallying. So just followed structure after the market lost momentum in the imbalance. But to say that there's an entry here, nah, nowhere near similar to Australia there. Canadian here, and I'm just looking at the lows, right? I'm not looking at the buys yet. I'm just looking at what happened yesterday. Could we see anything from in that low? I'll talk about possible shorts as well in a bit, but I just wanted to get into that zone first. The euro, huge move down. Move sideways before rallying. The euro right now, very bullish. The yen, push down, off it went. NZD, this is that same move. Wick to the downside, comes back up. Rebalances. Looks like these are mitigating. Same thing here again, down. Mitigation. And then you have the Swiss franc. So if we're looking at options for buying in this zone, honestly, it looks to me like we could have opportunities with this Australian zone here. Market dips down. It's going up. It's not crazy bullish. I think we have other examples that are much more bullish. So we'll see kind of how we work our way down. But there is a pretty decent setup there. That I can't argue. Pretty decent setup. I think the euro does something similar. The downside is it kind of just leaves a whole bunch of liquidity. So I don't know how much I love this. And then the yen also pushed down, market rallies. This clears a couple hours of liquidity. So keep an eye on this. We'll see where it gets there. But the yen has just been trading so nicely. The shorts. The downside with this is some of these have just been happening outside of my normal schedule. Update, guys, real quick. We saw the Dow, right, bleed into the zone, and then instantly we're seeing it bounce back. Meanwhile, NASDAQ is still trading bearish. So for shorts, I do prefer selling NQ. Now we've been trading above or below these lows for about 11 minutes. So it looks way more bearish over here. I am not going to look to sell this at all. No estoy buscando ventas en US 30 Dow Jones. So I would not sell this. Yes, this is flying up. This is going down. Is there a chance that they're not correlated perfectly during the session? Yeah, there's a chance. But these types of setups also fail a lot. Because if we want, let's say, for example, NASDAQ starts to pull back, Dow can easily pull back with it and just keep ripping. So, yeah, I'm not in a rush to trade Dow. So I'm gonna stay put with this idea. Yeah. Now, yesterday, this quick little side thing. Yesterday, the Trump administration said they were going to discuss taking a stake in Intel. As you guys know, we are invested in Intel. It was a play that we called out here. And if you haven't seen it, Intel blasted off. So if you got that re-entry we talked about a couple Fridays ago, then you're almost up about 30%. If you've been buying just dollar cost averaging in, really anywhere within these zones, I mean, you're up. Like we're right now at prices we were in March. We've been squeezing for the whole year and last year, about a year worth of squeezing. So when that happens, guys, when you're squeezing and moving sideways for a year, big moves are coming. I wouldn't be surprised if we get this move here. Huge move. Looking forward to it. All right, so that's a little side tangent here. So like I said, I'm not going to sell Dow. No way I've dead Dow. I'm chilling. No interest in that. If NQ wants to rally, then that might turn into more of a move for Dow. Or these keep going in opposite directions and NASDAQ goes up, Dow goes down. That could be the case, but that doesn't really follow my system. That's just more like, well, maybe. And I don't trade maybes. I just trade what I know has high probabilities for me. So with that being true, what we're going to do now is this. And look, if you struggle to identify setups, create your own system, if you're not really good at building out data, make sure you're going through the classroom. Like, make sure you're going through this. Make sure you're going through the playbook. Here, we literally walk you through it step by step. You have the PDF. This is all for free. This should help you get to you're making, your next 5K here with us for free. And if you want to accelerate things, then definitely join the syndicate. But it's all there for you for free at the minimum. So don't let your lack of resourcefulness be the reason. Keep showing up. Okay, so we'll stay patient there. The yen has just been, I don't know, just perfect. It's been wild. So many setups, just over and over and over again. The crazier part is how many of these I've actually been able to take, which has been very few. So it's magically playing outside of my trading hours, but I'm at peace with it. Outside of that, I'm just kind of looking at things that we could possibly be taking during today's session. Not much going on. Yeah, not much going on right now. Silver already bounced, so it's either stop should be at break even. The other entry that I think we may get here for next week, I mean, it's possible maybe we get here today, is still the lower level that we saw over here. So we still have these zones. And we have the two areas of interest, which should be the shorts on silver up here and then the buys down there. So I'll add this to our trades at the moment. We'll go over here. So we got silver. Do you guys like when I just have the image on there too? So that way you don't have to click the link. I'll be spoiling y'all, giving you the links, the picture. Shit, all that's left is just taking the trade for you, right? All right. Oh, yesterday. How did it go yesterday, guys? Did you guys end up taking the NQ? I know some of you in the chat, in the post, like you guys shared it, but yeah, anyone end up taking this all the way up to here? So look, we have already seen Dow. It did mitigate this, so it played kind of right out of the open, so it did reject this. Still, I'm totally fine that I'm not in this trade, so I'm very much at peace with that. NQ still bleeding out. I wonder if the news event takes us close to that or not. So this might be a later in the day type of trade. Curious about that. Now is another idea for you guys, and this is just something to consider with Dow. So Dow, came through, cleared London lows, traded into imbalance. Is this a scenario? And this isn't, and you guys got to act quick. Is this a scenario in which you buy Dow? Is this a valid shakeout opportunity? We're seeing right now, let's say NASDAQ is trading at Thursday's low. So this is like post PPI. Is this valid? It's about to go even lower, it looks like. Maybe wanting to clear this low here with NQ. Get below this level. Maybe looking to trade within this this next area. There's a little order block right here. So is Dow working its way down, pumping right back up, coming right back down? Is this a proven shakeout, or is there enough demand? For me, no. No, it came back too fast. No demand. I'm seeing it the same way. So I don't have very much confidence in this. Now, there is a scenario in which I would. If NQ keeps bleeding out and then gets to this order block right here, if we were to get to like here and Dow is still holding up in this zone, then I would be open to it because now they're both in key levels, but I don't think that's going to be the case. It looks like it's going to break through here. So with that being said, like I'm cool with not being involved. But because like right now, like as you can see it, NASDAQ is now getting below the low of below PPI now. So trading over here. Perfect. So look at that. Great job, guys. Just staying out of this, managing it accordingly. Like I said, I'm okay with that. I didn't trade this pump up and down. It just wasn't really the best setup in my opinion. Now, what I do think is setting up very nicely is our long with Dow. So right here with this spike down, playing out of this area, this one is starting to set up pretty nicely. And I feel like it's going to play out and it's going to align with NASDAQ's. I don't think it's going to really line up with this order block here. But you guys saw a huge spike down before the market rallied. So let's take a look at this. Check out what happened with price over here. We'll zoom in a little bit more. So, and I'm focusing on the right side of the screen. So here we see NASDAQ just bleed. This drops 102 points and then it flies. So this area solely on NQ is definitely a mitigation zone. All right. Now let's go to the present. So right here, definitely a great reversal zone on NASDAQ. More specifically, here's where we've seen plenty of reversals, like just in this area. So I do think it could be a target, this zone, and that would more than likely be in alignment with where we have Dow over here. I could see them kind of lining up together. So something like this would be fantastic. And we'll wait and see. We will wait and see. And Q clearing the low here. Great. We haven't gotten below the Tokyo low here, so we can still wait for. So still nothing to do. And yes, there's been a lot of movement to the downside. One of the things you have to accept as a trader is like not every move is designed for you to be involved in. One move sets up another. All right. Now at the same time, let's double check. So what is S&P looking like? Now, one thing that I do, and we can bring more a perspective to is, and that I always keep in mind is what happens when the market clears out specific areas, specific prices, specific levels. So, for example, NASDAQ just cleared this low, yesterday's low. So, obviously, there's very, very clear levels. This was Dow had already gotten below here on Thursday, so yesterday, and then it went crazy. NQ, we finally get below here. So, all right. What happens if the market with NQ clears the low, comes flying back up? Could we be in territory for a buy? Yeah, maybe. So if we were to see, let's say, NQ just rip to the upside, and then from here we just, we have good demand or whatever, then yeah, maybe there's a chance that we look for longs out of here. Maybe. But it would have to happen. Right now, looks like it's not going to happen like that. So I'm always just considering, kind of thinking, okay, this is the beginning of a potential setup. One thing that I see a lot of traders make this mistake is that it starts to give you a couple signs of a setup that you have, and then you want it to happen. Like, you just start to fill in the blanks and like force it. You marry the idea. It only gave you one or two confirmations, but now you start to convince yourself that you're seeing something when there's nothing there. So don't fall into your own traps. Don't let your imagination and your desire start to convince you that there's other things, and then you're just rationalizing a whole bunch of trades. So don't rationalize that. You might get, and like, remember, the market is designed. All of this that we're watching, this is all designed to influence your behaviors and your emotions. All of this. That's literally built by design. So they're very predictable human behaviors. Our brains want to fill patterns. Just realize that, right? Like, there's a whole bunch of these different types of studies done where even if we have like incomplete shapes, our mind naturally fills it. So it's very, very interesting how our brain works like that. So it's the principle of, it's a closure principle. So I think it's called the Gestalt principle, where the brain fills in missing pieces to perceive a complete pattern. And it's because we just feel we feel more closure overall. So don't let that happen. And this is what it's also like called predictive processing. The brain fills in expected details to match the predictions. So really what I think traders often end up doing is that it's a predictive processing, but when you don't have the complete story yet, then you're just assuming, and if you don't have data to back it, then you're gambling. You're not trading anymore. So we got to be careful with that. All right, NQ again, giving maybe another example, right? Clear the low, starting to push up, Dow starting to push down a little bit. Let's see where we go with this. Let's give it some time to give us a little bit more context. Okay, so I haven't been checking in with natural gas too much. Contract expired. All right, so let me just pull up what's been going on around here. Remember guys, we do have news here in... Wait, where is this? There we go. Where are you guys trading out of? I feel like I remember you guys saying something about a setup, but no, that's fine. We have news here in a couple minutes on the dollar. Let's see, where did oil... Oh, look at oil. Oil ends up trading out of this range. Right out of here. And what, Bitcoin's dropping to, I'm assuming? Yeah, okay. So Bitcoin basically starting to create more demand down here, which I will say is a little unfortunate for Bitcoin price, because unless the next hour just rips up, then we might be seeing the confirmation for lower lows. And yeah, that was on my phone. Terrible chart. But it's looking like we might be starting the beginning of a distribution here. Beginning of a little distro. Not to say that it's over, but it's just another sequence, another part of the game. So for us to get, a push down back under 110, maybe even lower, breaking into these lower 100s might be the case. Less than a minute out from dollar news here. So what could that mean for indices? For indices, look, we're seeing Dow push a little bit further down. NQ is kind of starting to push up here. Definitely not enough demand right now for me to say, yeah, guys, like, let's take a buy here. I'm not quite there yet. So not enough demand, not enough bullish momentum for me to like take a buy here and then let it rip. I'd rather kind of just wait it out. Remember, there's going to be so many trades available. You don't have to trade everything. All right, there she goes. So instantly we're seeing a nice push to the downside with the news event. NQ starting to work its way down, getting closer to that order block. Dow pushing further, bouncing out of this here. Kind of expected, playing out of the last dip down before it rallied. Cool. All right, so waiting now. The waiting game continues. For currencies was very just nothing happened here. Super lack of influence at all. Boring red folder. Like it didn't even happen. I've learned to wait. Most times you get to set up after the open. That's so true from my experience as well. All right, perfect. Yeah, so you guys are getting it. Yeah, so news event was basically just nothing. Nothing to do there. Right now, let's see. I think we're just going to get more and more development out of indices. So we've successfully cleared below Asian and London lows. Okay. When we get below the previous sessions, lows, and we're in a bull run, this is where we can start to see the shakeout setups and all that good stuff. Because when the market clears liquidity and then immediately reverses back up again, these can be the beginning of some good signs, right? So like I was talking about here with NQ is ripping now. Look at this. Absolutely pushing to the upside. After it clears these lows here, we see, MNQ go below a little more. NQ here. Do I love this? Absolutely not. Really would have enjoyed this making a lower low. Rather unfortunate that it didn't. So right now it comes back up. Don't know if it's going to stay up there. We'll see. Yeah, one of the most that you'll get out of a skill is the ability to wait. Because again, every little movement, your mind says to tell you, oh, what if that's a setup? What if that's a setup? What if it goes up? What if it goes down? And if you don't have a duplicatable process, then you're just going to take a swing at everything, and you're not really going to know what works. What works consistently. Because you want duplicatable results. But what we are getting right now is quite the bullish move on NQ. Really, really ripping at the moment. Especially that it swept the lows from PPI. So there was a lot of stops below this, for sure. Now we're seeing this look a little different. Let's see how it continues. All right, in the meantime, we're starting to see also, again, like I was saying earlier, Bitcoin starting to recover. So I was curious if we get a move out of Bitcoin here. We saw like this last push down here. So now we're starting to go up. If Bitcoin eats this up, ooh. $15 on Nas. Yeah, so like I like the spike down. Like I like this. This is cool. I just don't like the liquidity, unfortunately. So taking an idea like this, there's definitely downsides to this. So I would be just mindful of that. These equal lows right there. Not that it can't play out. It definitely can. But that obviously has variables to it. You're in the NQ long on micros. It spiked. Yeah, I know it spiked on micros, but the micros are, it's like less liquidity in the micros. So it doesn't really make sense. Like there's more volume, there's more liquidity that runs through mini data feeds rather than micro data feeds. In terms of like price action, micros are going to slip more. They're going to have like bigger wicks just because like there's not as many orders in them. As far as, I mean, to my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong. That's a possibility. I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, on minis for sure. Like I see it. I saw the chart. Swept the low. Now it's looking good. The buy, like I said, it could still be worth it, especially since if Dow is going to be super bearish and then NQ is kind of lagging behind, you know. So at the end of the day, like price discovery lives where the liquidity is, and E-minis carry way more volume and deeper books. So their tape levels are going to look, and their volume is going to look just cleaner. And then the micros, they're going to follow. So those are separate order books. So I'm in. Do what you want. You know? Do your thing. So you see how now we're starting to trade lower and lower here, and looks like we're approaching this zone on Dow. I wonder if we're going to get to this area and maybe we get a similar movement here with NQ. Like we dip down. They dip down here. This could be, yeah, I mean, it depends on how we get here, when we get here. But if we end up getting here, maybe we just get a little bit of move. Maybe it's a bigger move. Let's see. But what I will say is this. Let's zoom out a bit. All right. So now, like if you look at where price is at here, and this is just structure-wise, like just based off of structure and price. Over here, relative to where we've been at earlier in the week, we're trading around like where Tuesday's New York session timing was, right? Tuesday's imbalance. If you look at the market here, Dow has been significantly more bullish, right? Tuesday's imbalance for NQ was over here. Tuesday's imbalance for Dow is like way over here. So we're trading substantially more bullish with Dow versus NQ here. For like based off of this week's price action. But the way that this is moving right now for NASDAQ, I mean, we've been now chilling up here for about 8 minutes or so. It looks like this could be a decent idea, though. I don't think this is a terrible trade. I don't like the liquidity here, but the fact that we're holding up here after clearing these lows, so we're putting all the pieces together. We see the sweep of liquidity, the sweep of the lows. The market's very bullish, comes down and right back up again. So similar momentum. I definitely see the idea. The only downside is the liquidity, the equal lows. That's the only downside right now. Now, here's my follow-up question for you guys. How do you feel about selling up here? If NQ gets back up here after being, it was the more bearish on the day. Now it's coming right back up. If the market gets up to here, do you sell? What's the play? Something to consider. With how things are moving right now, I think I'd stay out. If we keep pushing up here, I would stay out. But only time will tell. And this is the trickier part when you're starting to not just have one asset. Because you can just trade with one, right? You can just dismiss everything else and just look at NQ or just look at Dow and just trade one. Fine. You can totally do that. And your setups are going to work sometimes and they're not going to work sometimes. And that's okay. And you can, honestly, I do believe that you can make money that way. Without correlation and divergence, I think you could still do it. You're going to lose a bit more often, but it is simple. You're not, considering other assets. You're not having to look, okay, is it more bullish? Is it more bearish? It's just like, okay, I traded this and I traded that. That's it. However, I do think that once you build up some experience with correlations and divergence, then I think you're able to qualify and disqualify a lot more setups. You have more information, you have more context. So you're able to make better decisions. So even now, looks like we are getting closer and closer to seeing Dow get to this level. But in real time, this is more bearish. So as much as I wanted to buy here earlier, setup was there. We waited, blah, blah, blah. It's not, with current price action, doesn't really make sense. If it changes, then it changes. But as of right now, this is not going to be a buy for me. All right, let's see. What are these? What are stocks doing today? Spotify pumping. Damn, this thing really did not want to give me my entry. Forever will be priced out of Spotify. Chewy, steady gains, baby. Steady gains. All right, so we're now approaching, look at this, Dow still pushing lower. NQ unfazed. So chicos, aquí no voy a buscar la compra con Dow Jones, con US30 aquí. Tiene estructura de acción de precio bajista, mientras Nasdaq aquí está manteniendo muy fuerte estos niveles. So, yeah, now we have about 15 minutes of bullish price action with NQ. Dow just trading lower. All right, so Chewy entries, all Chewy entries should be in profit now. Celsius here about to tag exit 1 for a 2.5x there. Other like Delta moving nicely. Nike still obviously still up here. CLFD. This is getting closer and closer to entries. Sweet. ENPH. All right. See if we get anything there. Chilling. Weeble, some pullbacks. KD here. Been pretty stable. So this is one that I just entered around 29 and change, like right around here. All right. That's my update there. Just real quick. If you guys have any stocks or anything you want me to look at, let me know. Okay. So I did say if you had any charts, go ahead and send them in here. Looks like no one's really said anything. Unless, let's say, you guys just posted independently. Shout out to Alexandra for passing FTMO. Okay, y'all are doing your thing there. Hey, if you're not in the communities, make sure you get in here. Just a quick here. It's just scan the QR codes to get dialed into the community, the free community. This is for all levels. You have free, you literally can learn how to trade from A to Z. We trade live every day, so make sure you're in there. Give you guys just a couple seconds here. All right. So further down we go. Down and down we go, my friends. So like I said, I'm not going to take this here as much as I wanted to. No voy a comprar, so I'm just going to delete this. Just to not confuse anybody. It was an idea that I was open to, and it's still something that I guess it could play out. But I'm being cautious because NASDAQ could easily dip down, play into this zone. And if NQ goes down right here, that could keep bringing Dow further down. So I'm very much looking to just be mindful of all this. Now, overall, and the timing of this could be interesting because remember these lows that we had like over here on the 15-minute, we might be seeing NQ play into the zone and Dow play into its zone at the same time. So I'm still open to seeing Dow Jones work its way down to here. So, for example, since I'm not taking this, I'm under the idea that this can break below, assuming that NQ is also going to want to push below. So let's see if correlations, divergence works in my favor today or not. What do you guys think? What are you going to do? So you're in silver. I think I already had seen him mitigate, so I just stayed out. Okay, cool. Held up. Went up, back down, up again. Very nice. Yeah, with this spike in here, I was good on it. Unless I drew something out wrong here, but I don't think so. So, yeah, I played off of the sell-off. I wonder, let's see. Yeah. I mean, I had really no business taking anything else in here. However, it looks like it might be creating a new setup. So if it makes a new setup, then it could be game. We saw a sweep to the downside one more time, and then it goes. So if this goes higher, we could be looking for another buy opportunity with silver. And if it goes higher, if we get the right information. A whole bunch of ifs. Hadn't mitigated, in my opinion. Well, factually, it mitigated, though. I'm not sure how to, I don't know how it couldn't have mitigated. Like, this literally, it bought the sell-off. Drew my zone on the one. Yeah, I mean, on the one. What? Like, this is the liquidity capture right here. Hey, good mistake, man. Shit. Played out, I guess. Like, it worked out this time. So, take what you've been given. Might as well. I think I see what you mean, though. Like, you maybe drew it out from, like, up here. So you probably took it from, like, here. Here it sold off, and then it created more liquidity. It came up again. Then we had the last move down. So if you were measuring all of this, then yes, you would have probably been like, no, I think it needs a little more. But and everything is just how we perceive it at the end of the day. We all get to build our rules here. All right, so we're starting to see NQ starting to drop a little bit. But we have, this is, for me, is enough demand. Something is telling me that, well, especially the equal lows here, I feel like we're going to break below here briefly, and that's going to lead into playing out of this zone. Because on the 15 minute here, we are trading so differently. Like, this is the 15-minute structure, whereas NQ's price action is just so different overall. So I think these are going to be in a similar timing. Got some backup zones here. Got another one down there just in case. So we'll see. We'll see how all of this aligns. But this, to me, it looks like a clean 15-minute structure. As of right now, we still, this was an original, the zone, the sell-off, and the continuation. I'm out of this. I'm not taking anything here. So I'm okay with missing out because it just doesn't seem like we have enough confirmation to take that because of the way Nasdaq's trading. And then also, an S&P always gives us hidden clues. So if you look at ES, S&P has been chilling. This has been just kind of inside of its structure still. I feel like we could see S&P clear some of this, yesterday's New York lows. Because Nasdaq already did. So ES hasn't done anything shady. There's been no liquidity capture to the upside. There's been no liquidity capture to the downside. It got below London and Tokyo lows, sure, but no like big liquidations. That's what I want to see. That, you know, we got to see some blood on these streets still. Not enough blood in the streets. For further recap, let's see. Bitcoin dominance going up a bit. Nothing crazy. Cryptos wise, Celsius exit 1. Beautiful. That one took a minute, but we're there. All right. Nothing really much to do with crypto. Cool. All right, guys. So, I mean, basically, my take is this. I'm liking buys on Dow down here, or we're going to see NQ bounce out of this zone. I kind of wanted to see what price action looks like in real time. I like my indice buys when we get to these lows. So 15-minute structure on Dow looks good. 15-minute on NQ looks like it wants to give us a form of a shakeout as well. So I'll be kind of seeing how this is playing out in real time. I will go ahead and share that in the community once I see once we get a little bit closer to the zone, see what we do there. On my chart, CFD, it didn't mitigate even with the lower zone. Oh, okay. CFDs. Then cool. Trade what you have, man. For me, since the market CFDs pulls information from futures data, so just gonna go with that. Posted a UJ idea. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at it. Let's go. USD JPY. So a nice push down. Lots of liquidity. Getting below this seems likely. I see your idea. We had the sweep to the upside. The market just chopped up. So getting into this zone here, basically. This is like your sell zone. Here you have liquidity. So having a clear liquidity, close out this buy order is what you're looking at. I can see it. This is really choppy. So, but either way, there is a big buy right there that clears out equal highs, and then it moves sideways quite a bit. I could see it, yeah. Your exit, I'd probably trade maybe into like this imbalance over here. This is probably the better place to take profit because you might get a reversal out of there. So like, let's say you had an entry like right here or something. Then I would have an exit like maybe right into this. Something like that. Yeah. Cool. I like it. All right. Dow's starting to mitigate this zone. So despite everything, still holding up a little bit here. It's a little bit of a bounce. Not mitigated, but it is bouncing a little bit. Either way, staying out. Waiting. The patience continues. Guys, last day of the week. At this point, there's no reason to start to just shoot. Don't lose your cool. Trade your setup. Make sure you're in the communities. Shout out. I got to give a big shout out to my brother, syndicate member, Kevin Block, withdrawing from his funded. So shout out to the boy getting paid out after a long time of fighting it out, being able to get funded, but not holding and keeping the account. So shout out to you, my brother. I don't know if you're on or not. But yeah, I got to show love there. The amount of change I've seen within just your approach to the market and your psychology with the timeline of trading and the expectations have been incredible. So it's been awesome to have you in the syndicate. Huge shout out. If you guys are looking to make similar changes, scan that QR code on the right side of your screen. Way more coming. So our goal is to create in the free community to help you guys make your next 5K and doing it with the right processes, not trading for money, but having how you trade, your systems, your discipline be the reason. Remember, money is just a consequence. Money is just the effect. It's not the cause. So do things right for a long enough time, survive the way you're supposed to, lose properly. That leads to the big ones. So if you want to learn more, scan the QR code on the right. If you're not in the free community yet and you're not taking advantage of all the resources, everything we have available, scan the QR code on the left. And then before you go, guys, show us some love. A like and a subscribe goes a super long way. We appreciate it. And yeah, we're excited to continue to do this. We'll be back over here on Monday. Back at it again. Stay tuned. I will be opening up some new things in the vault. If you didn't already, in the vault, in the community, I did drop I released my boot camp from 2023. So if you haven't watched it, go ahead. I was probably 50 pounds heavier, but the knowledge was still there, baby. So if you guys want to see what that looks like, a sleep-deprived and chubbier Mike, go watch that for the lulz. But yeah, good stuff. He said, I bought Dow. I don't care. LOL. I don't know how. If your system is like, hey, I'm gonna take it. I don't really care about correlation or divergence. Then, dude, fuck yeah, take the trade. And it looks like it's playing out. 70 points later, 50 points later. So good mitigation. I sit out. I'm cool with it. But yeah, keep going, guys. Much love, and I will see you on Monday. Peace. Hey, journal your trades. Drop a post once you did it if you want to get better. Stay accountable. All right. Much love, y'all.